Hello everyone, so Josh first at it again with some more Epic 7. Now today we're going to be taking a little bit of time here to talk about a very important question that I see a lot of people talking about, a lot of people are on the fence about. I've seen a very, diverse community when it comes to this question, both on social media, on YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, anywhere that you see Epic 7 talked about, even on Reddit. I always see this question come up, and I just feel like I wanted to shed my opinion on it because I have not really, talked about it myself. And I figured, you know what, I'm going to throw my hat, into the mix here. So anyways, the question being, is it worth refreshing with Skystones at the secret shop, the special shop, the bartender, whatever, to try and get 5 bookmarks? Well, short answer, no. And the long answer, I'm going to get right into it right now. So really, guys, this video is focused more towards the free-to-play players, but it could also work and maybe it could work for the whales as well. Casual spenders, probably it should work for them. But for the whales, that's kind of up for you to decide because, when you're a whale, you're a whale. You really don't look too much into how much you're spending because that's kind of the whole point of being a whale in the first place. But outside of that, let's go ahead and talk quickly about how much it costs. So it costs 3 stones to refresh. 3 stones. Now that may not seem like a lot to some of you. It's basically 3 stones to save you an hour of waiting. Now if you wait and you actually were on the nose every day, you'd only be able to look at the shop 24 times a day because it resets every 59 minutes. So you would have to be like right on the nose, like have a timer set and never sleep. You'd have to spot nap every day to be able to get the maximum out of your secret shop per day of chances to get some bookmarks. So that's one thing. So a lot of people like to try and use Skystones as a way to refresh to save that hour. But is it worth it? And like I said earlier in the video, it's not. And the reason why it's not is because you could sit there and click that refresh button 5 times, 10 times, 100 times, and not see a bookmark. Because it's all based on RNG, and there's a lot of variables to take into account. For one, there is several things that can come into this shop. Several. All kinds of different armor pieces of all types of grades and all types of types. You got your crit set, your hit set, your attack set, your speed set, your HP set, defense, etc., etc. And then you have your grading system. You have, like you can see normal. You've got rare. You've got your heroic, you've got your epic, and then you have tiers on top of that. You have tier 2, tier 3, tier 4, tier 5, tier 6, and that's also depending on what level your shop is. So that's a whole other layer of RNG to put into the mix. And then you have the 2-star monster fodders that are everywhere. And then you've got the friendship bookmarks. And then you've got the regular bookmarks. So you have a huge pool of things that are being pulled into here. And then we got to take into account what Smilegate actually has the algorithm set as. Is there an actual percentage based on what certain things will show up? And then you also got to think on top of that, then they have the randomized RNG that would also be a part of that algorithm on top of the percentages. So let's just say you have 1 to 5% chance to get a bookmark. Yeah, well that's 1 to 5% chance, and then you got to divide that out by how many possibilities you get per reset, which would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 different options. And so that would, of course, make it lower. And then you would have to take into account the randomness of RNG, which is completely unpredictable. So there's a lot of things and variables to talk about, which I'm not seeing a lot of other people addressing when they're saying to go for this reset option. And then you have to take into account if you're a free-to-play, casual, or a big whale, how many Skystones are you getting on average per day, and how many times are you refreshing per day to try and get the bookmarks? Because at the end of the day, the idea is to try and get bookmarks for less than 100 Skystones. That way you're saving, but you also need to take into account you're spending over 180,000 gold each time you buy a bookmark. So in doing this method, you're using 2 resources to get 1. Instead of just trading Skystones straight up for stamina or trading Skystones straight up to get bookmarks, you're now using Skystones and gold to get the bookmarks from the secret shop. Now, if the bookmarks just show up randomly without using Skystones, then it's a 1-for-1. You are using gold for Skystones. Or, I'm sorry, gold for bookmarks. So it's a 1-for-1 and it's perfect. It's a one-on-one. It's a perfect trade, right? You know, I come from playing Duel Links for a lot of times here on the channel for the past 2 years, and we talk a lot about card advantage. We talk a lot about -1s and +2s and +1s and having complete card advantage. Well, in this game, you really want to have resource advantage. And when you're trading in 2 resources to get 1, it's just bad. It's not good. It may not seem like much now, only using 3 Sky Stones, but if you keep doing that method, let's say you go a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks or even half a year to a year and look back and think, how many Sky Stones did you actually use compared to how many bookmarks you actually got out of it? Was it worth it? It probably will come out more times than not that you actually should have probably just converted the Sky Stones straight for the bookmarks, or just waited for the secret shop to just reset throughout the day. You know, because in a given day, you should be able to see the secret shop 5 or 6 times maybe, because it does take about an hour, and you also got to take into account personal life, work, school, things like that. So of course you're not going to be able to sit here and look at it every single hour. That's just not reasonable. So I would say in a reasonable day for most people, you should be able to see it at least a few times throughout the day. Okay, and then you also have the other, yeah, that's not a word, the other merchant shop, which you can look in the labs for free, because you can actually jump into a lab, see if the merchant has any bookmarks in there, and if he doesn't, or anything else good, then you can leave without wasting a lab key. And guess what, guys? That only, again, uses 1 resource. You use gold to get your bookmarks that way as well. And that is also, I think, once per day for those, but they usually has a better item. So there's ways to see if you can get bookmarks per day without wasting your Sky Stones. Because if you click that refresh button, what if you're clicking it 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, 50 times and you still have not seen a bookmark? And you're just watching your Sky Stones go lower and lower and lower, and it's just causing you to completely stress out and get angry and mad and upset because you're not getting the bookmarks because other people are telling you that's a good idea to do that, when it's not. I am here to tell you and highly employ you and imply and give you the advice, whatever you want to hear, basically saying please don't do that method because it's not good. If you're a whale, like I said, it probably doesn't matter to you. But if you are free to play or a casual spender, don't do it. It may seem enticing, it may seem worth the risk, but it's really not. Even if you do everything that you possibly can every day and completely maximize and be efficient with your stamina to get the utmost amount of stones you possibly can per day, it is still not worth it to keep clicking that refresh button. Because sure, maybe a couple times you'll get lucky, but a lot of the times you won't. And because, let me tell you guys right now, you would have to average less than 100 Sky Stones every time you get a bookmark from this shop to make it worth the investment. And I highly doubt many of you are actually going to do that, because there's just too much probabilities, too much things to account for. You know, the stats just don't add up, guys. The numbers don't lie, and RNG is not your friend. It never will be, it never was. So just take all that into mind, guys, before you start clicking that refresh button for 3 Sky Stones, because it may seem like one harmless 3 stones, but those 3 stones could add up and add up and add up and keep going and going and going while your bookmarks aren't going in the right direction. Your gold's going down, your Sky Stones are going down, and your motivation is going down as well. So you got to be very, very careful how you approach a gacha game as a free-to-play. You got to be very careful with your resources, because a lot of those resources you may think, I'll just get them again later, but they will catch up to you, because there are only limited amount of ways to get Sky Stones, and those doors will close. Once you've completely farmed up story, once you've completely farmed up all your reputations, those Sky Stones won't come back. You'd have to wait for you know, additional content to be out, and then you'd also have to hope and pray that you get a lot of random chest drops on the maps that also give you like 3 Sky Stones here and there, and then you'd have to really do well in PvP to try and get a good investment from those back every Sunday. So there are ways to keep farming your Sky Stones, but those ways definitely start getting less and less the longer you play the game. So you just got to be very, very careful. Watch what you're doing. You know, play smart, play responsible. Remember, it's a gotcha. You want to maintain your premium resource, which in this case is Skystones, as best you can. For me personally, there's only 2 ways I would use Skystones as a free-to-play, and that is for summoning and for stamina. Because both those are guaranteed 1-for-1s. You know what you're getting. There is no RNG. There is no chance. You know what you're getting from those Skystones. Plus, using Skystones to buy your bookmarks are getting you closer to being able to do your Moonlight summons, helping you, grab the units that you need, or giving you much needed stamina so you can keep playing and progressing and getting to where you need to be in the game. With this little 3 Skystone refresh button, it could be the doom, it could be the death of you. Not literal death, just resource death. It could be a resource graveyard. Because clicking that thing and then finally seeing it, and then you got to spend gold, you've now used 2 of your very valuable resources to get 1 thing. So guys, at the end of the day, the conclusion here to the story, the moral of the story is don't do it. If you're a whale, this video doesn't matter to you, you can ignore it. But if you're not a whale, please don't do it. So hope you guys all enjoyed that. Hopefully I explained everything in the much detail that I could. Hopefully this helps a lot of you out. I just see a lot of other YouTubers and a lot of other players saying that's a good idea to click that button, and it's not. So hopefully it can help you all out. Until next time, be sure to subscribe for more Epic 7 content and join us in this Discord in the link below. And drop a like on the video if it helped, and comment if you guys agree or disagree. I'm glad to keep the conversation going after the video. Until next time, I will catch you guys all later. Peace.